All right, cool. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gents, players and pimps. I know this is a voice you haven't heard in a long time. 2 years to be exact. I checked the other day. That's your boy.
Oh, man. That's a minute, bro.
Man. It's been legitimately 2 years. The last thing we talked about was LeBron sweeping the Raptors out of the playoffs. This nigga Q told DeMar DeRozan to stop wearing the Kobe's. He told him he wasn't worthy of wearing the Kobe's no more.
Trash.
But listen, it's Darian Boyd. I'm here with the good brother Quentin Johnson. Y'all know him. We actually here with my boy Said Willis, S. Promo. My good brother here. We glad to have you, man.
Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, man. We was excited to have you on, man, because I was talking to Q, like, you know, pre-recording or whatever. I was making my pastrami sandwich. I was telling the nigga, like, hey, man, I want to have Said on because he provides, like, a different perspective. Not only he the type of person that, like, he really strong-willed in terms of his opinions, but he provides a perspective in terms of, like, our sports spectrum. Like your sports addiction, we talk about it all the time. It's a lot about where our love from sports comes from, whether it be, like, how early we started playing a particular one, how early we started watching something, start covering it. And he's somebody who played college ball down at, you know, at Morris Brown, you know what I'm saying? He used to play volleyball too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, played volleyball in college. You know, he got a multitude of leagues. I know you told me you was doing a lot of stuff, like you was running a YMCA when you were down in Atlanta for a long time.
Yes, sir.
Now he in community recreation up here in Chicago. I don't like to drop their names. Earlier I was doing She's So Weird podcast with my homegirl, and I was like, I'm not gonna say their name because I'm finna go on and say how confused I am because they not really, you know, updating us the best. But he in community recreation. That's how me and him cross paths, and me and him, we both instructors, we programs and different stuff. But outside of that, he still do his own leagues. Got a real basketball league that he had going for like 4 years.
No, 5. We've been doing it for 5 now.
Like 5 years.
Yeah.
He got a softball league coming. He just always got a lot of dope stuff going on, man. And he just got that perspective of being on each side of the game. So I'm excited to start having him on for some future episodes.
Yeah, man. Nice to have you on.
I appreciate you, fellas.
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, you know, it's been a couple years since we did an episode.
I'm blowing right now.
I want to let people know kind of like where we've been, you know. Me and Q, obviously, I think we started 2015 with YSA, and we didn't had the opportunity to see it grow into, you know, trying to put out, you know, merch and doing like our fantasy football draft. So we did had a lot of different things going on since we started. But with this COVID-19 and this imposed quarantine stuff going on, man, I hit my man Said up, man, and I was just like, hey, man, like I really want to get the brand back into, you know, the prominence that it needs to be, and just get back on the wagon, bro. Like, I think everything happened for a reason. I think we got sat down for a reason to, you know, realign things. And I know people want content, bro. So, you know, we want to give y'all what y'all want and what y'all need. People always asking me what's going on with the podcast. So I just want to bring that back for the people. Quentin now lives in Denver now. So that's
he didn't move the hell away from Chicago.
Yeah, that's definitely the shit.
Get up that cold, man. That cold. Man, but just like real talk though, like I have been planning this trip for about 7-8 months, and like I told Dee before, but I mentioned it when did I mention it to you that I was moving? like the first time, but I think I was at your job.
Yeah, around this time last year, I want to say.
Yeah, so it's been the plan for a minute. So I just been stacking, and unfortunately, I just moved at the worst time possible. The good news is though the roads, because I drove here, so the roads were clear, so I breezed through it. So I got here in like 13 hours. So
So,
it wasn't too bad. I got stuck in the snowstorm on the way, but I had to stop in Ottawa, Nebraska, some country town. It was crazy. Like,
Different, right?
yeah. So now I'm in Denver, just chilling in the Mile High City. Man, I'm just loving it right now. Like,
what made you? What I know when you were originally talking about moving, you were kind of like geared towards the Pacific Northwest. What made you want to move in that region, and also like what? How did it ended up settling on Denver?
okay, yeah. So the Pacific Northwest, I originally wanted to move to Seattle, but after like just doing my research on Seattle, it's expensive as hell to live there. So, um, I would have been, I don't know, and it's like really far. It's like a 4 hour flight, so I felt like it was a little bit too far just to move that far right now. So, and then I had been to Denver probably like 3 or 4 times before I moved here, so I was a little familiar with the city, and I was like, well, this will like even though the cost of living is like as far as like housing is a little higher, like everything else is pretty much cheaper. So um, I figured like I moved there. The like the job market's good. The economy's doing great there, so I landed the job pretty nicely and it's paid me significantly more than my last job. So I think it's a good move.
Can't beat that, brother.
All you could ask for, man. Well, I just wanted the people to be a little updated on what's going on, and I'll say all that to say, just because you moved across the country on my ass does not mean that we will not, continue to push the brand and keep going strong. Um, so before we like get into all our topics, I know everybody want to hear, how we're feeling about the Last Dance. Obviously, and taking over niggas' TVs for the past like couple months. I think this nigga said cheated like other people. He didn't watch something. How many did you get him up to episode 8?
I got to like 8, man.
I heard that's what the pack is. I heard it. Nobody got the final 2 yet.
Nah, they didn't download those 2 up there yet. So you only can go to 8 right now.
Yeah,
Wait,
I heard this.
you watched like like 7 and 8?
Yeah, so you get to watch all the way to the end of 8. You can't watch 9 and 10 right now.
So at least you'll be with the rest of us common folk in a couple of weeks when we watch
Right.
the last 2 episodes. Before I hop into the Last Dance talk, I wanted to ask you guys, since it's been a couple of years since we did a pod. I just wanted to ask y'all like what athlete in the past couple of years made y'all be like, wow, like he's making a statement. Like when you think about the landscape of sports since like June 2018, like who did it made you really be like, damn, like he made a statement. Like for me, the person that made me think of this question was Kawhi, because I felt like his evolution from where he was like in June 2018, where he was injured, and like a lot of people was giving him flack about not having played. He basically had a D Rose situation in San Antonio. It just wasn't looked at like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break it down, bro. I'm gonna break it down because Rose hadn't won anything yet. It wasn't the same type of like he didn't have the same Kawhi didn't have the same type of pressures that D Rose had. But why I call it a similar thing as the D Rose thing is because the Spurs was telling people Kawhi was ready to go. Kawhi was telling people, and that really was the genesis of that, like that Bulls and like Rose, like their relationship deteriorating because they told us so early. They're like, oh, like he like Rose good to go. And like we all looking like this the 2013 season. We all kind of looking like, well, if he good to go, like why he not playing? So that's why I compare it that way, because it's a perfect example of like an organization and the player not being on the same page. And it's crazy that like Kawhi then like shifted. Like I'm not gonna say he did it by himself, because LeBron been doing load management like back in that Miami years. Like niggas people forget, but like Kawhi kind of like is like people gonna look back and look at him as like the kind of I don't want to say the innovator, but like people gonna look at him as like when it comes to load management, they gonna see how his situation was and look at it different, because after all that went on with San Antonio, a lot of people was like, oh well, he probably can't play no more. Some people like he not as good as people think he is in the system, and then he went to a whole nother city and won them. He took them further than they had. He bought them a championship in 1 year, bro, on a rental service, bro. Like he was only there for a year, didn't even say if he was gonna stay or not, and took them to the chip immediately after not playing, only playing like 9 games before. And the way he did it, just like I just saw I was starting to see his game at the end of his San Antonio time. I was seeing how it involved in terms of like how he can create his own shot and stuff. But he really he really put his nuts on the table, like the way he got that trophy for Toronto. So that's somebody who's stand out to me.
Okay. Well, I'll go. Can I go, Q? You want me?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, cool. Now, I ain't taking nothing away from Kawhi because he's good. He's an awesome player, actually. All right. The injury that Kawhi had compared to Rose was totally different.
Do we even know what Kawhi injury was?
So what they said was it was a hamstring. Don't a hamstring keep you out a whole year, right?
Yeah, I think it was quad too.
His quad don't keep you out a whole year.
No,
unless you tore like all type of muscles inside there and just did some other stuff. So I agree San Antonio handled his situation probably different. But I think like just the representation that Kawhi had, handled the situation bad too, though.
I agree.
Now Rose's injury was serious.
Correct.
You feel me? Like he had like a life-changing injury. Like to the point where, I mean, it can really like alter your career like in a whole different path.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So yeah. So you feel me? Like I just look at these situations a little bit different. Now, the person who to answer your question, the person who I look at is LeBron, of course. I mean, LeBron is like something we never seen before. Like you ever watched, like, I know you guys seen that, like that Rocky movie when that Russian guy, like dude was like, he's a robot.
My man named Drago.
Drago was that dude. Like they thought he was a machine, bro. Like that's how bad he beat Apollo Creed. Like we've been like since I'm a little bit older than you guys, but basically like since y'all birth almost, bro. Like LeBron been a machine.
We ain't that young, bro.
Like for real. Like I'm saying, you probably was like in 8th grade, bro.
So my question is, what about the past like 2 years though has made you be like
the past 2 years, LeBron's still the best player in the NBA.
So you just blown away at the fact that like
that he's still the best player in the NBA. Yes.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yes,
because it's like
we're running like we're basically on the path of saying, like I see the resemblance and why everybody constantly keeps saying like why they compare LeBron to Jordan. Even though I picked Jordan because Jordan was a dominant player in the league, but LeBron is there though. Like we have legitimate reason to say, hey, LeBron should be in that question, same as Kobe.
And I want to give Q a disclaimer just so he know who we talking to. He could say it is a Kobe guy. So this
I'm Kobe all the way.
I'm Kobe all day too. You already know.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know what line of the saying he's staying on.
Yeah, I'm Kobe all day. I'm Kobe, like Kobe #2 in my book already.
Okay, yeah. I just want to let him know because it gets scary because it's like because I agree with everything you saying, but it's a lot of LeBron fans that like it's almost like the fact that we think that like Mike is because personally. This is how I look at the Bron Kobe thing. I think Bron a better player. I just prefer Kobe, but they got to be both in your top 5 however you put them. But it's a lot of LeBron fans that literally get emotional because you don't think that he better than Mike. Like it's just like you can't settle for being the second greatest player of all time. Like
hey, that ain't bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, you one of the 3, 4 best players like to ever do it. Like, why you in your feelings?
Yeah.
The second really got a lot of it in feelings.
All right, let's see. Man, so like just to touch on Kawhi a little bit, like yeah, he had a good. I mean, yeah, he won the finals, but I don't know. It's like handicapped to me because like Klay Thompson got hurt, KD got hurt, so it's like then he hit a lucky shot against the Sixers. It bounced in at the buzzer, but that's lucky, man. Like they should have lost that series. So and then with the whole Spurs situation, I feel like he could have played, he just didn't, and like forced a trade, and
I
then
agree.
Yeah, he just forced his way out of San Antonio, and then like he just got what he wanted, and then he just moved to LA and was like, okay, we finna win here now. So now
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Like through Kawhi career, like he just basically got what he wanted. Besides getting drafted by the Spurs, everything that Kawhi ever asked for, he basically got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the past few years.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what you mean the past few years? Besides getting drafted by the Spurs, like Q just said, he didn't play the year that he should have played. He played 9 games, and he wanted a trade. He got up out of there. He went to Toronto. Then he said he wanted to get up out of there and go to LA. He wanted to go to the Clippers. He went to the exact team he wanted to go to. He got everything he asked for, right?
I only got 2 counters to what Q just said, right? So one to address like the whole he didn't play, like he didn't play the season, whatever. Can we all acknowledge though that like the dude still like was hampered when he was playing last season. Like you could tell at the end of the season, like the nigga still had lingering injuries. Now that's not to say that like players just don't play with injuries. And I'm not absolving how his representation handled that situation because I feel like you could have it's a different way you could have went about that. But it's kind of clear to me that like he was unsure about his health because it's like I feel like that's the only unless you just also just complete like laziness. Like I just feel like it's different ways to demand a trade, bro. Besides not playing like only playing 9 games. But that I believe that there. But my second rebuttal is that was not necessarily a rebuttal. I just don't want you to forget that like yeah, you noted all those things about his run, but you got to remember that like after game 2, the nigga just got the locking Giannis up and just took off during that Buck series. Like you can't forget that part of the run, bro. Like the Bucks looked like to me. The Bucks looked like to me like when they won them first couple games. Like I'm like, man, like I don't know, bro. Like they looked legitimately like the better team. And once he started guarding Giannis, it was a whole different situation. Sid, you see me play against Giannis, nigga. Can't nobody else guard Giannis on
2K. I did. Hey, but hold on. Let me tell you this though. There's a system to everything, bro.
Yeah.
There's a system to everything. And you basically gotta give that to that coach because you gotta think like Giannis, he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
But the way they alternated their defense to where, oh, we know this dude can't shoot a jump shot. So let's pack 3 people in here. He can't go past 3 people. The best player can't go past 3 people. Now, imagine if somebody would have did that to Mike, though. He can't go past 3 people. That's what the Pistons was doing at the beginning until we got a better coach. Until we got Phil Jackson in there, put the triangle in. Mike can't win the games by himself. Made Scotty better, Horace Grant better, but we'll talk about that later. Same thing.
Is this like just related to basketball, or is this just
No,
in general?
no. Just sports in general.
So I'm gonna go with like this is a guy that like I've hated and well, I don't know, just disliked a lot because I'm a Jets fan. So I'm gonna say Tom Brady.
In the past couple years.
Yeah. I mean, and not only is the guy like 42 years old, he turns 43 in August, so he'll be 43 coming into this season. He went to the Super Bowl back-to-back years, lost one and won one. At the age of like 41, 40, that's crazy. And he's playing really good. And he's putting up not amazing numbers, but he's putting up good numbers.
Top 10.
Huh?
Top 10 quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's just doing it, and I don't know how he's doing it. Like, and if he pulls this off and takes Tampa to the Super Bowl and wins it, then that may be the greatest thing that's ever happened in the NFL or in sports.
So it's interesting. It's interesting that like the way y'all looked at the question. If like I see for y'all thinking about it like who still showed us longevity. And like it's been 2 years since we didn't talk sports, and then when we check back in, these players are still like at the top of their game. So it's interesting, like y'all asked the question like that, because when I thought of the question, like I said, who made me think of the question was Kawhi. Because just like it's crazy to me like his ascension, but y'all looking at it like the people that's still on top, but we talking 2 years later. So it's interesting y'all answered that.
Like I don't know, like I rooted against him a lot, but I never bet against him. No.
Yeah, this nigga's crazy, bro. This nigga every year picking somebody else to win the division, bro. I'm like, bro, it's not gonna happen, bro.
Right. But when he gets to the Super Bowl, I bet on Tom Brady. Like I bet for the Patriots because I know what he gonna do. Like
I call. Hey, you know how Snoop Dogg called everybody nephew? I call him Uncle Tom. For real, like
Uncle.
What he gonna do? He gonna put in work when he go out there. He gonna go out there, man. Like,
Uncle Tom going to work. You can't bet against Uncle Tom.
Yeah, man. That's interesting.
Time, though.
You said what?
I said I think he the best quarterback of all time.
Hands down. I get it. I agree.
Yeah. I think we can all. That's probably gonna be one of the few things we all like in unison about on this program, because I think it's without a doubt. I mean, again, I didn't see Joe Montana. Like, you might have a better reference for Joe Montana than like we do, bro. But I just look at it like he did go. Like Tom got to be the GOAT.
But he didn't win like Tom. Like Joe Montana was good. Don't get me wrong, and like he definitely was good. Like growing up as a kid, like we heard about him, Dan Marino, Moon, things like that. But like Elway started winning like once I got like high school, college. Elway was always in the league with those dudes, but like Montana was that dude. But then Brett Favre, you heard about him, but you never heard about a quarterback as much as you heard about Tom Brady, though.
And the run is just crazy. Like the length of the run is crazy, bro. Like he won his first Super Bowl in 2001, bro. And hey, you know what's crazy too? I was watching they just did an NFL film special. It was called like whatever like number he got drafted. That's what the show was called. Because he got drafted in like the 6th round or whatever.
Right.
And like when you watch his story, bro, like it was not ordained for this nigga to be the greatest quarterback of all time, bro.
Of course
like,
not.
They didn't he was battling his position in Michigan.
Right.
Like they had a whole nother dude that like they thought that like they bought him in his sophomore year. He was just supposed to take his spot. They battling for the spot mid-season. Like then obviously you remember how he got his spot with New England. Like Drew Bledsoe had to get injured for him to even get his shot. Like to even and like he just took off ever since. So it's like it's wild to even think like he wasn't even that guy that was supposed to beat that guy. Like,
And
it wasn't even meant that.
it was even incredible that Drew Bledsoe, when he got hurt, he was supposed to come back. But Tom just, like you say, he took off so much where, like, Belichick was like, I'm going to stay with the young boy. You feel me? Like he was just, he took off, like, from the jump. As soon as he got that spot, you know what? And that's another person you can compare him to. You can compare him to Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is the same thing.
Yeah, he came in when Brett Favre was still.
Yeah. And he took off, and then that's when the Packers felt like, we can get Brad up out of here. We can get this little gunslinger up out of here.
Even Aaron Rodgers got drafted in the first round, bro.
No. He got. I thought it was second round, but yeah, it was a late first round. You're right.
Late first rounder.
You're right.
Brady wasn't even like
that for 3.
He was like the 7th quarterback taken or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
he was. But he was projected. He was projected to be a first rounder though, because he was at the draft. Remember, he was there. He was projected to be a first rounder, and everybody just kept passing up on him for some reason. I don't understand.
Man, if you hear some of them names that got drafted for him, bro, like I obviously I'm younger, so some of them dudes, I'm like, I ain't never heard of these names
at all, bro.
Yeah,
and it's funny because like that's when they won that Super Bowl. That's like one of the earliest Super Bowl I remember is '99 when the Rams won. Because for some reason my brother. Like, well, not for some reason, because the Titans had like a whip with Eddie George and Steve McNair. Like, but my brother,
rest in peace,
rest in peace, bro. His story was wild how he got killed. But my brother don't give a fuck about football now, bro. That nigga cried because the Titans lost. So that's the first Super Bowl I remember. But 01, like when the Patriots won, that's one of the few ones I remember and being like, oh damn, like the Patriots, like the Patriots, like. Because the Rams was a great show on turf, like, and I'm not paying attention to the season like that. So when I heard like, I'm like the Patriots, like, ain't that the team the Bears beat like all them years? Like,
bro,
they was going all the time. Like they was just, that's crazy.
How likely do y'all think it is that he gonna succeed in Tampa?
Man, I think he's gonna do well. Now that Gronk on board, man, he got Mike Evans down there. He got another Pro Bowl receiver that I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
They just drafted my boy from Iowa in the first round, Tristan Wirfs. So I'm excited for him. He's gonna be blocking for the GOAT. They got a whip, man. Like they gonna do well, and like it's crazy how he maneuvered this because it's like Tampa Bay is the worst franchise in sports. And
wow, really?
Worst winning percentage.
That's a take. So I mean, are you saying like right now?
No, like they have the worst winning percentage in America
like
ever. I
was going to say they can't be the worst franchise though.
Yeah, that makes sense though. All time
winning percentage.
Okay. When those niggas had them orange sickle joints, they was terrible.
They're historically bad. So he chose to go to, and the Super Bowl is in Tampa this year.
Oh yeah, I know that.
No home team has ever won a Super Bowl or hosted a Super Bowl, so he has a chance to make history. So it's crazy how he maneuvered this, and man, I think it's actually gonna happen. To be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Tampa really already had a great offense. Right. I mean, like you said,
it's Winston.
They definitely had those two receivers, and I mean, Evans is basically a superstar. Jameis Winston Jameis couldn't make him to where he should have been. But see, we can just keep on switching the topic because New Orleans got a steal. You can't give me a guy who can lead the league in passing. Doesn't matter that he threw 30 interceptions.
Hey,
don't get me wrong.
That man threw a 30 for 30, bro.
Don't matter, brother. Don't matter. I would take him over Trubisky any day.
I would too.
Yeah. I would take him. I would take him with the Bears. I would start him over Trubisky any day.
Of course,
That's funny, bro.
But as I was saying, right, Tom is going to do something special though, bro, because
I'm rooting for him.
yeah, he's just a different guy. And then I think like he's really like elevate the game. You know what? He almost had the same story. Like Mike almost had that story. Like Mike wasn't good in his 40s though. Mike was old. He gained weight. You feel me? Like,
though.
nah. You heard what Jerry Stackhouse said. He said, man, I felt bad playing with Mike.
He wasn't Mike. No, he wasn't Mike, bro. But to be putting up a dub, bro, a game.
He Mike though. Like Mike can still dunk at 50, bro.
It wasn't Mike, bro. But it's just like it's more when I look back, it's more impressive than like it's given credit for. Because like he had taken years off. Like I can see, like it's because you got to take that into consideration. Like it's not like he went straight through. You know what I'm saying? And then like he was declining like in his 40s. Like the dude took off like 2-3 years of basketball and then came back and was serving niggas a dub. Like he still was solid. If you dropping 55-point games and you 40
talking about the best player ever though.
Yeah, so all like it shouldn't have never happened, but like all want to make it like he was boo-boo. Like, he just wasn't Mike.
We talking about, listen, hands down, the best player ever. Like, he's the best scorer to ever play the game of basketball.
His ceiling is so high.
Yes, like that's why I keep telling people, like, bro, like they keep talking about LeBron. Like, yo, like Jordan was doing this for real though. Like them folks really telling you, like, bro, his second year in the NBA, bro. This man averaged 37.
Hey, no, bro, listen. I didn't know this man averaged 28, like his rookie year, bro.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So listen, you listen, hold on, Darren.
You in the All-Star game. You started.
Hold on 1 second, bro. You go from 28, like you said. I wasn't even gonna mention that because that's crazy. You go to 37. You get hurt, right? You get hurt off just some fluke stuff. You come back, bro. You take them to the playoff. Bro, you get Bird 63.
And 40 the game before that.
Come on, bro. Like
we gonna get it at we gonna get it at though.
Yeah, bro. I'm such a like man, bro. He is.
We gonna say the go talk. We gonna say the go talk. But you were saying you bought Mike in because you were just saying that like the fact that Brady in his 40s and the fact and you were saying like the situations were similar.
Meaning that I'm saying the way that Jordan impacted the game in his 40s, even like Washington almost made the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and Jordan was basically, Washington was, they had Jerry Stackhouse as their leading scorer. He led the team in scoring. Jordan was second. I think Rick Hamilton was third.
No, you gotta remember Rick Hamilton was there that first year. And then that's what Jerry Stackhouse got traded.
There you go. Yeah. Well, regardless, that team was trash. You feel me? Yeah. They still almost made the playoffs. Just ruined Kwame Brown's life. Game that like Tom Brady is the GOAT of football the same way as Jordan is the GOAT of basketball. You feel me?
Yeah, I think we have to agree, man. So I'm rooting for him. We all rooting for him. Do you feel like before we move on, because it's related to the Last Dance, right? Because it's like because what I thought you was gonna say was it's so similar they situations because of how they ended with their franchises. Because it's like with Belichick and Brady, it became this issue of like well you're older, so like why should I keep doing all this investing until you like? Do y'all feel like the Patriots made the right move? In my opinion,
man, I think they finna struggle this shit, man. Cause I think it's all Tom Brady. Not Tom Brady, but mostly Tom Brady. Like Belichick is good on the, like with his defensive schemes and stuff, but he ain't always been good. The Rams,
they did true
a bunch of points to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That was terrible.
They did make the playoffs that 1 year though without Brady, but they still had Randy Moss though. So like he like a nuclear weapon. So like
they didn't win though. You know, it's all about
they made bro. But you we all know him, bro. Like it ain't like baseball where divisions are like important, like like a milestone. But like to win a division in football, like to go 11-5, like that ain't that
bad
easy.
at all. That ain't
But
bad at
Matt
all.
Castle is not a bad quarterback though. He later went
Matt
on to
Castle do
Kansas
after
City.
what Matt Castle do after Bill Belichick?
He went
Nothing.
to Kansas City started though. He went to
Hey,
Kansas.
but hold on.
He
Let me.
started in Kansas City for a minute,
For
He
what
did.
he do?
and he
That's
made a Pro Bowl.
For Kansas City?
yeah, he did. I
Yeah, he
don't know if
did.
he made the Pro Bowl, but he had a good
Gotta
year.
verify that.
I don't know if he made the
You
Pro
gotta
Bowl,
holler
but
at
he
our
had a good year.
staff.
Kansas City, man. So he wasn't trash after that. He was decent after that. Actually.
No, we gotta do the research on that one. We gotta.
Hey, Q,
Pro
hold
Bowl.
on. Q, he wasn't trash, but he wasn't good either, though. I'll give you that. But hold on, listen. With New England, what I do say is they have a system. And I feel like anybody can play in their system. Like what Belichick, Brady was just exceptional. Don't get me wrong. Like I take nothing from him because he is dope. But they have a system where I feel like they can grab any player and they can gravitate to what they got going. Like, some players exceed in a system. Like he's saying, Brady exceeded, Randy Moss exceeded. What's his name? What's the
Julian Edelman.
linebacker? What's the linebacker too? That's on ESPN right now.
Vrabel.
Yeah, he exceeded.
No,
What's
I
the
mean,
running back that they got
not
right
Vrabel.
now?
Not Vrabel. His name, Teddy Bruschi.
Brewski, that's his name.
Yeah, Brewski.
Brewski was decent. They was like, he got a beer name, but he exceeded. What's the running back they got right now that exceeded, that won a Super Bowl for them?
Dang.
I know you talking.
Yeah, Michelle. Ain't his name?
Yeah, Sony
Yeah,
Michel.
shit. Julian Edelman, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a system that they have that basically they core together, and that's how you exceed. I mean, they just have a great system that works. And, I mean, that's even with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh got a great system. I mean,
No. So
you don't think so?
Hey,
I mean,
to verify,
like it works for a lot of the players, but for some of them, like the receiver they had, Josh Gordon, they couldn't save him. And then with
I mean, he was on drugs though, bro.
yeah,
okay, Stephen A.
but in the new
He
CBA,
was on crack.
he should still be playing.
He is. He been in the bro. Who gets suspended 3 years straight for the whole year and still be in the NFL, bro? Like, come on, you want to keep constantly like this guy got so many chances. Like, come on, bro. OJ Mayo in the league, he ain't played ever since.
Hey, to Q credit, you are correct. What's his name did go on it to win a division and go to the Pro Bowl for Kansas City.
Yeah, so, Matt Castle as his quarterback.
So you are correct on that tip, but I don't know. This just gonna be the season to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever feels whatever way. A lot of people feel like Brady the system. Other people feel like Belichick the system. This gonna be the season where we gonna see what's really good. So
man, shout out to my boy OJ Mayo, man. He shouldn't be out the league right now, bro.
We can have our opinions, but this is gonna be the season. This is gonna be the season of the show. We're gonna move on. I appreciate y'all answers. We're gonna move on, man. We gonna talk about the hottest pack on the streets that they gonna kick said door in for because he got that shit early. Hey, said the Piracy King, bro. I tell this man all the time, bro. They go kick his door in, bro. Get his Ed's gonna be on the couch. They gonna kick his shit right in. Like,
man, I got the good shit, bro.
He gonna be playing episode 9 while we watching episode 7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell them folks I don't know nothing about it.
I wanted to ask y'all, like, what was y'all thoughts like going into the documentary initially? Because I know for me, I would be saying like on Twitter and stuff, I'm like, y'all, like, stop calling it the Jordan documentary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a Bulls documentary, but it's a damn Jordan documentary. You know what I'm saying? But like, my thoughts going into it, I was just like, because they basing it around this season and they got all this like exclusive footage, that it's gonna be a lot of dope, dope stuff. I have been correct in terms of that. Now, my feelings so far, so like the first two episodes was like home run. Like they came out that they're spoken. Like they really like the way they put it together, how they cover, Scotty, issues or whatever. The 3 and the 4, it wasn't really that dope to me because it's like they touched on the bad boy stuff, but it was like it was just for people that like that follow NBA and like they Jordan fans or they Bulls fans or whatever, none of this stuff is new information really. Like for most of us that I already know like the stories and stuff like that. But what's dope about it is actually hearing Mike like cuss and drink tequila and talk about the shit because it's like
That's
what
whiskey,
he
boy. That
said.
ain't no tequila. That's
No, it's
whiskey.
tequila, bro. No. He got a brown tequila.
No,
It's
I ain't see that. I
it
thought I
is,
seen
bro. They
whiskey,
said it.
boy.
He came out with a tequila last year.
Oh, okay.
Like
When
him, Genie Bus. I forget what it's called, but it's like him, Genie Bus, and like a bunch of people that got this tequila. It's a brown tequila. So that's what he
Okay.
been drinking. But like to hear him, like, like us talk about that shit. And when they said when they was like they used to call the Bulls the traveling cocaine circus.
But
And
he
like
said that though.
yeah, whatever. To hear him talk about coke, bro. Like to hear him talk about any of this stuff, bro, it's just funny. So like I said, the last two, like it was cool. I liked it, but it wasn't as like good as the first two. The highlight of the last the 3 and 4 was Horace Grant was like straight up bitches. That was the highlight of the of the 3 and the 4. But
they did rock off like that though.
But these last two, they covering his gambling and like that. Those episodes is amazing, bro. Because you just don't really hear Mike like even like touch this stuff. Because like you could attest to this boy said because you have a better reference, but.
Exactly.
Dee Q, we born 93, so we born coming off his last three-peat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So like
yeah, definitely.
we our references are different, but like even we know that it's like Mike has always made it his business to kind of like craft his image in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like he never giving you too much. He only gonna give you enough, but he ain't gonna never give you too much. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But if you from the city, you already done heard stories about people like this dude, like really like this really like a real dude, like hooping in the hundreds and people backyards and like and pulling up like on the motorcycles and
He was serious, bro.
yeah, he was a wild dude. So like to see it, like I'm glad that like even though he executive produced this, it's not cookie cutter. Like he said it before it started. He's like, I feel like people gonna pick up an asshole. It's like, bro, people already know you an asshole, bro. But I
He ain't
like,
hold back though. Like I thought he was gonna
yeah,
hold back, but he did.
yeah. So that's what I wanted to say on it. What do y'all could go next?
Yeah.
Like, what was y'all
So
thoughts to it?
so listen here, bro. From the first 6 episodes, let me tell y'all what I really, really felt. Isaiah Thomas a hater. Let me tell you that. He always been a hater. He always been a fucking hater.
We know that, man.
Always. He always hated on Mike. Listen, the crazy thing is, bro, let me tell you, like Isaiah Thomas, right? And I ain't never taken away from Isaiah Thomas' game because like he's so dope. Like Isaiah is like he top 2, 3 point guards ever to play the game. And Isaiah Thomas should have been on the dream team, of course. But he's such a crab ass dude, man. Like his personality, like Isaiah know he just did so much fuckery, bro. Like the way the bad boys play, right? That made the Bulls better.
Yep.
We should have beat them before we beat them. Before we had beat them in the okay, they might would have won the first. Don't get me wrong. They probably would have won that first championship in '89. In '90, we should have beat them. They beat us up here, and they beat us physically.
Mm-hmm.
So when you could beat a team like that, bro, like it's tough to beat them. But Isaiah a hater. He is such a fucking hater ass dude. Bro, he got a lot of hate in his heart for Jordan. Bro,
Yeah.
and I think it's like to the point where like Isaiah thought he was better than Jordan. Like, but he really wasn't. And Jordan was representing his home city.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
So it's like, dang.
Yeah, like that shit touched his soul, bro. Like a kid from the west side of Chicago, bro. And United Center on the west side, you didn't rep your city all the way into the end, bro. And then you got this man who came and just took your city over, bro. Isaiah was a hater.
Hey, they say that nigga he probably came home with a G-Pen from Uncle Remus, and he just seen his cousins, his nephews in Jordan jerseys.
Bro,
nigga heart was probably hurt forever.
He hurt, bro. Listen,
he ain't never recover
ever. And look, listen. The crazy thing about it, bro, right? Don't get me wrong. Everybody calling Jordan like, man, he an asshole. He this, he that. Everybody, the teammates, other people who ain't even affiliated with the Bulls. But when they all come down to it, they be like, that dude know how to fucking win, and he do this and he do that. Isaiah ain't said nothing good about the man.
No. That ain't
hold
on.
There. Hold on. Only thing Isaiah is saying is that, man, he the best player in the world, because he was. You can't deny that.
Yeah,
like that's some shit that you can't. That's some shit you can't be like, oh, like at that point. Listen, at that point, the only person that he could have been like that was better than Jordan was Magic. But Magic even saying like, oh shit, no, I wasn't better than Mike. so listen, when you get a player that's already saying like, oh shit, I wasn't better than him, you can't vouch for that person then. Everybody else is saying Mike was the best player ever. Mike is the best scorer in the league. He can do this, he can do that. Isaiah like, yeah, well, we had our time. He want to talk about the bad boys and all that. And, like, he was a hater, bro.
I'll say this though. I'll say this was what kind of like, and Q, I'm gonna let you go on to say, but like when you speak on like how you said like Magic saying it in real time, like while he was playing, like that kind of like that blew me away, because it's just like how they just kind of like was conceding it like as it was happening. Like it ain't like look like Magic won his last MVP in 1990. Like that nigga went to the finals in 91. Like it wasn't like he was on his last, like on his real last leg. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like,
he understood that shit, Darren.
Yeah, like
he seen that shit in real life.
He only he seen it in real time.
He's seen that shit, bro. He seen this man jumping, doing layups. He about to go to the right side and then switch his hand and mid-air to the left. He didn't even have to do that shit.
He didn't.
Look, hey, Campbell didn't even jump really. Mike just looked at him and was like, oh, he over there. Let me go ahead and switch to the other side. Like, bro, what this kid was doing, bro, at that time, like it was different, man. And then that's like, okay, that's just to today in real life, bro. Like how we be at my leagues or whatever, and we see somebody and we'll see a new face. Because normally we see the same people at my league or whatever. Right. We see Marco and all them. We were like, oh, we know how they get down. We seen Darius coming there. We like,
yeah, see, and one.
he tearing the net off the motherfucking rim, right? Like, oh my gosh, where this kid come from? That's how it is, bro. We just
put that on the NBA level where you see him leaping
and
over
he
everything.
that good, you feel me? Like he is good.
And fundamentally sound. Like
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Somebody said that they was like, you ain't never usually the most like athletic dude ain't the most fundamentally sound
at all.
It's rarely ever the case. And like he was both of that. So this it's safe to say that like it's the documentary that met your expectations, like as you watching it.
Yeah, big time. Like you say, the first two was awesome. I think they had to catch our eye. The two after that with Dennis Rodman, I mean, we basically knew that because we seen the Worm.
We just seen the 30 for 30.
So they basically told us that. Now they hit us with the Dennis Rodman needed a break. That hurt me right there.
Yeah, that was the most quality. That was the most quality part of them 2 episodes.
Yeah, now Dennis Rodman going on a Vegas trip needed like 48 hours. That was different. I ain't never seen an NBA player get 48 hours while the season going on. Like now, that's the load management. That's the load management you talking about with LeBron. Dennis got it to go to Vegas.
That was real life. Yeah, ain't nobody really did it since like Bron, and we knew about it. Like exactly. Bron went to Miami for a couple weeks or whatever, but like that was probably unheard of at the time.
Right, and then the last 2 episodes, I just like I felt like Pippen was bogus, of course, but I also felt like he deserved that last shot, though, bro.
See, you skipping ahead. You skipping ahead. They ain't that you. Them the last episodes you didn't see. So you gotta stop talking.
All right. I ain't gonna give y'all that. You right.
You skipping ahead.
I'm going too far. My bad.
Like the documentary series been like kind of good. So far, like you guys touched on, like the first 2 episodes were a hit. I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Like my expectations going in was pretty much like, okay, I'm probably gonna know like majority of this stuff already, so it's like okay. But I did think it would be something more around the team, but it's just about Jordan, like which is fine. So, but like 3. Like episode 3 with Dennis Rodman was dope. That 48-hour shit is crazy. Like, and he was partying in Vegas. That's crazy. I don't know no NBA player who does that.
Hey, I'd have took 48 hours with Karma.
But the last couple episodes were just.
Hey, did you see him? What? He just took 48 hours.
She still looking legit.
I'm talking about A1, baby.
What did you? So you said you felt like you was gonna know the stuff. Do you dig like do you like how they do it? Like they kind of bring it back and forth, like from the 98 season.
That I wasn't expecting. Like I thought it was gonna be just that
just linear.
Yeah, and it's gonna
be just the 98 season.
Yeah, and just like a whole bunch of footage from that one season, and like just broken.
That's what I thought too.
But I mean, so
but how can you though? How can we? Because the 98 season was the last season, which only thing we thought in our mind was it was the end of the tour.
Yeah, I just based off like what they were saying, and what you know what I'm saying. Like I just figured like, but I'm like, how they gonna get 10 like?
You gotta give it. You had to give up. You had to give up everything. But then let me ask y'all this question though. I don't want to jump off the scene, but Krause, he was different, bro.
I always so
yeah, he was different.
I'm growing up in a Chicago sports household, bro. It's always been a disdain for like Krause, but it's just so funny because like as soon as the episode starts, G, my mom and dad just get to going in. I'm like, y'all keep he let it go in for like 3-4 minutes. They just going in, bro. Like, so it's always been that way now. As I'm older and I understand more about like business and stuff like that, I don't. He's still tweaked. He's still super tweaked because it's like even from like a bread standpoint, bro. Like if you just let these niggas keep playing like one more season, the amount of money you're going to make for your organization, like that's like, come on, man. So he still tweaked, but as I got older, like I kind of could see the vision, I guess, but like
no, listen.
but it's just like
Hold
he
on.
tweaked.
Darren, hold on, Q. And answer this, bro. Like the way Jerry Krause did it compared to how it is today, he reversed it almost because he was making all the executive decisions compared to now. Players decide what they want to do and where they want to go. Like he never gave these dudes. Like, listen, bro. If I got Scottie Pippen on a 7-year, $2 million contract, bro. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Hey man, Scotty was hungry for that bag, man. He was,
bro. Scotty would have took that money, bro.
He was third poor, I think, right?
Yeah, he was. It was crazy. Hey,
so,
why did they brother like a dark skin
right?
for him though, bro? What's Scotty Pippen?
Yeah. I mean, like
his brother was bogus.
Yeah, it was. Like Scotty just took a bad deal though. That's his fault.
Listen,
nah, it wasn't. Hold on, my bad, Darren. It wasn't a bad deal. You got to think about it.
Yeah, it wasn't at the time.
Yeah, at that time, Scotty came in like 87, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 87, bro. He took a 7-year deal. At that time, you probably was getting paid like $100,000. At that time, Scotty took a great deal. He just signed for too many years.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Like
he took it, and he got it in 91. And what people got to remember too, in 91, that's right before the Dream Team. So like the explosion of like of coverage of the league, it was just like the price just went up. It's inflation, bro. But what I was gonna say is that he 100% tweaked. Like he should have just let them defend like one more time. Like that's just stupid. But what I did learn to appreciate as I got older was all the moves that he did leading up to that, like all the like transactions and stuff he made. Like once I got that,
good with that.
I built like how the dynasty was built. Then I got a better appreciation for it because all my attitude was like growing up, like that's all I was taught was just like the Jerrys, like the Jerrys was racist and they tweaked and like they, you know what I'm saying, like which is still the case. But like, I understand that like Krause like, put together a dynasty.
Yeah, and both are all true. Like he tweaked, like he should have let them niggas play, but he made hella moves though. Like just getting all the players just to build that team too. But I felt like he was an asshole, and he was probably an asshole. So
nah, he was ego trip. He ego trip. And he thought, like I said, the constant comment that they constantly keep making is a player don't make the team.
Yeah.
That's lies. A player and coaches and things like that make the team. Like, yeah, of course the GM, the president, and all them, they do all their jobs or whatever. Jordan was the Bulls. That's why I don't have no problem with the documentary being so much about him. Now, like all those guys, they play their part. Don't get me wrong. Paxson, BJ, Horace Grant, all those dudes played their part. But at the end of the day, like if he wasn't here, it would have been a problem. Krause couldn't get that. Like, like they start, saying like how he felt. Like maybe he was a little jealous or whatever, or that these dudes was mainstream and he wasn't. Like, dude, you ain't do shit. Like
you ain't supposed to be mainstream.
You didn't draft Jordan.
You a general manager. Sit your ass
Yeah, you a
down.
general manager.
The only good, I mean, well, I can't say the only good thing because he did draft Pippen. He got Horace Grant. He traded for Bill Cartwright. So he did some good stuff.
He traded for like he not only did he do that stuff in the early dynasty, but like he retooled the roster. You know what I'm
He
saying?
definitely
Like,
did. He definitely
so you
did.
gotta give him props on that. But I just look at it like he just wasn't. He wasn't a people person, and he was egotistical. And so
Yeah.
it was he cared so much about like him getting the credit. Let me ask you this, Sid. How old were you in '93?
93, I was 12.
You was 12. What do you remember about like learning that Mike retired?
I was hurt. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. I was sick. Hey, listen, because you got to think, right? 91, 92, we just won the championship. Then 93, we win the championship again. I'm on the west side. I live on the west side of Chicago. I actually live on Madison at this time. I live on Madison and Keeler. So I'm literally probably 15, 20 minutes from the United Center. I can go right down Madison to get to the United Center on a bus.
Or with a stadium at that time.
Yeah, you feel me? So, like, man, we crushed, man. Like, we just like, this ain't real. And then we heard, like, I mean, they always gonna try to tarnish his legacy or whatever and things like that. But we just was hearing like all type of craziness. But the city was just not just me. The city was crushed. Like.
Well, what did you think? Why did you think he retired at the time?
So because I was young at that time and didn't know better, so I listened to Channel 7 News, and this is what they said. They said that Michael Jordan, he was retiring because he got into a gambling debt. Listen, let me tell you what they said. They say he got into a gambling thing, and the guys that he got into a gambling thing, they killed his dad.
That nigga dead.
Yeah, they killed his dad. And then that was it. That's exactly what we thought when we were younger. Like, we thought that he just was gambling and he fucked up and they killed his dad. And then he was so sick about it, so he just retired. We knew he was going to come back.
Now, what you think? If you say you 38, you 38. Yeah. What you think at 38?
Why you think that Jordan was a gambler?
It's not funny, bro. It's not funny, but like it's just like
I think
that's
Jordan
why I
was
try
a
to
gambler.
tell people.
I think he gambled a lot of money, and motherfucker, he told me he wasn't gonna pay him. And they had to come for somebody. And this dad was the person they came for.
This is why I tell motherfuckers, y'all can't tell me it's not another GOAT. Like, it's another GOAT, G. You can't tell me it's another GOAT. Nigga daddy that got killed, bro. The nigga came back and won the championship on Father's Day, bro. He set the NBA record for the most wins all time and won. G. You like, what are you saying, bro? Like, play baseball. Like,
when they played baseball, it was trash.
Bro, what type of shit is that, bro? And then you come back and then you win on Father's Day, bro. Like you a 60-win team.
Like, that is crazy. Like, you leave, like, you the best when you leave. Then you play baseball. It don't really work out that well. Come back, then you win. That's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
That's what kind of blew me away about just like watching it last night.
I wonder why he didn't even play baseball though. Like, what made him?
Because he used to play it, and his dad, and it was like his dad's favorite sport, and that was one of the things that they bonded on. So like he said, "Fuck it, I'm Michael Jordan." That shit probably humbled him. It probably humbled him that he wasn't that good, but like even still, like I'll be listening to.
I mean, like, but he probably knew that he couldn't like be that.
Hey man, hey Q, you play baseball. You play baseball, bro. He wasn't that terrible, bro. He wasn't that terrible.
He definitely was
terrible. To hit what he was hitting 200, to hit 200 like professional baseballs, bro. It's hard as fuck to hit a baseball, bro.
200 sucks, bro.
Yes, compared to like normal
a
people
nigga like us, somebody like me and Darren that just coming in swinging.
It's different though,
bro.
Wasn't in the majors though either, right?
Bro, compared to any other nigga, he was in the minors, but compared to any other nigga that's been playing basketball,
like he was in double A, bro. That sucks. I'm sorry, bro.
Hold on.
Like, bro,
if you playing basketball,
playing better than him, bro.
Bro, if you've been playing basketball for at least he played 4 years in high school, 3 years in college. That's 7 plus 7 years in the league. That's 4. You've been playing basketball for 14 fucking years, bro. And then you
okay, look,
200.
Tebow did better his first year in Double A, bro.
Nigga, it don't matter. That's still Tebow.
He didn't play.
Hey Q,
Tebow won at the top of his sport.
Hey Q, you hear me?
I'm just saying, like, he probably just did it as a pastime. Like, he couldn't think he was gonna be good at the shit.
Q, listen, Q, listen here, bro. That's like somebody coming off the street, right? So I'm just basically, let's say it's myself. I'm coming off the street. I'm going to Jerry and them like shit. I'm ready to get on this baseball team. This dude, doesn't matter that he played basketball. He hasn't played baseball since high school.
Okay, but baseball is not a complicated ass sport though. It's really
I bet you I couldn't hit it.
But it's a lot of stuff involved in it. It's like you hit the ball, you see the ball, you hit the ball. Then when you're in the outfield, you just wait for the ball to come to you.
Darren, hold on. He making that
he was
shit
a
seem
solid
like it just
fielder.
flipped the court over, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, look. He always do this, bro. He acting like this shit for people. This is like you like motherfuckers not professional for a reason.
Double A sucks. I'm sorry,
bro. But you in the no, but it don't matter. It's still professional baseball, bro. It's professional baseball.
Professional.
Bro,
it's like
you know how hard
in the middle of nowhere in this small town, and like
man, we
nobody
go all to a batting cage. We gonna all go to a batting cage because I respect your prowess. You played baseball in high school. We all go to a batting cage, bro. And I would just let you because it's the same amount as Jordan. Like we like 10 years removed there from high school.
But
so
here's the thing y'all forgetting though. Jordan was so athletic, so it translates to baseball too.
No.
He was a good
ball. Like if he connects on the pitch with his strength, it's going out.
Q, so you telling me
man.
And 200, he just couldn't connect.
Q, so you telling me you going out there hitting 95 mile per hour with fastballs?
Okay, I'll probably bat lower than 200 fast, yeah.
but just said he sucks though.
But I'm not Michael Jordan, so I'm just saying, like,
niggas got all the tools of the athletic tools in the world, bro, and be trash. He's the first nigga to bat 200.
Sure, if he put his mind to it, that he could have been great at baseball, like some of these good sport athletes.
And that's the point.
Like Deion Sanders was cold, but like, he probably just was like, fuck it for him to play and like. But he couldn't. He wasn't good at it.
Humbled him. It probably humbled him because he probably thought like you, like shit. I got the tools. I was playing this when I was in high school. Like I can make it happen. So he probably humbled him.
Fucking baseball. With though.
But you just make it out point, bro. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't compared to regular humans. He did okay.
He definitely did.
It's hard to hit a fucking baseball, bro. Like. It's fucking hard. So yeah, but I was telling Q like the fact that he not only did he come back and do that, bro, because a lot of people don't acknowledge like the fact that he lost to the Magic, before when he came back. But the fact that like he lost to them, right? He came back and swept them niggas. Like
they got him hungry, boy.
He sent Shaq to Los Angeles, bro. He came back. So like I don't like when people. I just don't see how you could make another argument. Like I know Bron, that guy. Like I understand. Like he is one of them ones, but it's only one goal, bro. He did all that in 13 seasons.
I agree.
And he still was ahead of dudes in the scoring. Yeah. So one of the funnier parts for me last night was the security dude. That nigga, they was playing the quarter game. They was flicking the quarters. That man hit him with the shrug. and Mike was angry. Mike was angry.
Hey, bro, he has such a competitive edge, bro, where just a lot of human beings don't have.
That nigga was pissed, bro. That nigga was pissed because he lost a dub to the security guard, bro.
Yeah, but nah, he ain't just lose the dub. Remember, he said, "I bet my dub to you, whatever," and Mike was like, "Let's go!" Like, so, so he ain't just lose no dub, bro. Mike lost some money on that one. You feel me?
That nigga said,
right.
Hit his ass with the shrug.
Hey, and he hit him off one pitch, though.
Off one, because he didn't even get it that close to the wall.
He did. Hey, he hit him off one little throw, bro.
If a nigga in a Jerry curl,
he was so bogus, wasn't he?
Hit me with the shrug, bro.
With those big ass glasses.
I would be heated too, bro. I like how they showed him like he was riding with Amar Rashad. He had that red ass Range Rover.
Bro,
and
I think him and Ramon, like they had to be like real good friends, bro, because he was always with this dude.
Yeah, no, that's his homie. Hey, you know what I ain't know? My young ass ain't know. I knew that Amar Rashad played in the NFL, bro. I ain't know this nigga was a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Let me tell you what Amar Rashad did that was fucked up. Let me tell you that. He divorced Claire Huxtable.
Yeah, he tweaked. He tweaked.
He tweaked and married a white lady.
I said that man got to think a lot about himself.
Oh, man.
If he walked away for Felicia.
Yeah, he did.
She the only Felicia you look at and you know her name ain't like typically Felicia. Like she a raw kind of Felicia. Like you ain't never seen a Felicia that raw.
At all.
I know some good looking Felicias, but he ain't never seen a Felicia.
Nothing like that one, boy.
Yeah, Clay Huxtable was a different level. That nigga Bob Rashad was a different kind of nigga though.
He was tweaking, bro.
Hey man, that CTE probably was kicking in, bro.
He wasn't that good. They weren't giving him the dope.
It ain't no telling how his marriage was, bro. I'm just glad they both happy. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no telling after the NFL life.
Right.
Claire wasn't having it.
He was coming home going crazy. Hey, Q, he was coming home with the chokehold.
Hey, my fault, y'all. I'm working on a little project because I gotta sleep. So,
yeah, he putting his bed together. He said, "I got so I'm laying on." Yeah, man. I didn't know he was a four-time Pro Bowler. I'm like, that's an amazing life, bro.
Yeah,
like, successful, and he won a Super Bowl. All right, I said you went from a very fantastic career in the NFL to like
being Jordan's best friend.
Yeah, being like you ride around the Red Range.
I know.
That's a tremendous shift. So I thought that was dope. Like, do you got any stories of like seeing Mike in the city?
Man, like when like I said, I used to live on Madison or whatever. Only time I seen Mike was when I used to work at Comiskey Park. I was about like 16 at that time. He used to always come to the White Sox games or whatever, and he used to he used to be in Jerry Rhinestone suite. Now, Pippen used to get his hair cut at the barbershop, probably like right across the street from my house. So I used to see him a lot. But yeah, man, I mean, and I used to see B.J. Armstrong at the White Sox game. I seen Vince Carter. Vince Carter used to date Tyra Banks. I
vaguely remember this.
Yeah, I seen both of them at the game. I seen Chris Webber one time at the White Sox game. Who else? Well, I see a couple of the guys that I used to work there or whatever. I used to work in the suite, so which was cool. But seen Jordan the most out of all of them, though. Yeah.
I can't. He's still he's still like a rock star to us like now. So like I could see Mike right now, bro, and my whole Chester cave in. Like I can't even like imagine like I know he came to when my brother went to Hales, he came up to because you know him and Juanita like donated like
I thought they did the
money to
gym, right, and
Hales.
all that up there, right?
Yeah. They put some money into Hales, which and that's kind of going into the next thing I want to talk about because I found it interesting that he even like touched like the political stuff or whatever, but it makes sense because it's like, oh, I want my image to be a certain way. Like I want people to like I want to try to rework my image, you know, because some people feel like I don't like give a fuck or whatever. But yeah, he put money in and he came up to him and Juanita came up to because him and Juanita still together, and my mom and dad was up there, and my mom said all them older ladies there on they best wigs, and the best dresses.
They was trying to catch
man at an all boys high school. She's like, man, what are y'all gonna do? He up there with his wife, so yeah. But they say like the room just like it was just a different energy. Like it's like it's
a
really
whole
like
different aura.
it's really Mike in a big ass suit. Like it's Mike, bro. Like it's yeah. But no, I wanted to touch on that before we stop talking about the documentary. The whole thing about the running opinion on Mike for a long time has been like you don't really care about the black community and like the causes like in which like we deal with from day to day. And I found it interesting how they were I actually had left out the room, so I have to kind of rewatch like the entirety of that part, but I caught most of it. But they were just talking about that whole when that dude was running for office, and he was like pronounced like racist and stuff, and like just because like just talking about how Mike ain't take that stance or whatever. And that's been a long time refrain on him, but I always find it interesting, like as being from here and kind of knowing like the different little things that he actually has done, and he just never was somebody that like wanted like a ton of publicity about it. And some people look at it like, well, man, if you need to put your face in front of the cars and be loud about it, so that people could know. But I just found it interesting. Like, what did you take away from the episode, and like, what was always your feelings about Mike and like his charitable stuff?
Yeah, so like growing up or whatever, like we never got that support from Mike like how everybody thought we should have. It was a lot of like teammates that even went on record. Matter of fact, Trent Tucker, he went on record, saying like how Mike, charging all these people hundreds of dollars for these shoes. Like, what are you doing? And then, he got all that publicity from, I think Mike became a billionaire because he invested in prisons.
Okay, so we gotta defocus that bit.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not saying that he made all his money off that, but I want to say that he made a significant amount of money because he invested in something that a lot. Well, see, don't get me wrong. I'm just giving out facts. Don't say that I believe in any of this or whatever.
Well, you giving out what has been thought.
Exactly.
Thought by the public. Okay.
Well, not even that's what's been thought. What happened? Because he did invest in prisons.
But who proved this to be the case though? Like who proved it to be the case? Like who proved it to be the case? Because it's something that like it's been like going around for years, but it ain't never like nobody's really.
Well,
like,
of course, we'll never get like the public records, and I mean that's just with anything though. Like we could say Trump did such and such and such, but we'll never get the records and everything like that. So I mean, but at the end of the day, like me personally, Like he, I mean, he, like you said, he said in the documentary, he never was the one who wanted to be, who say that he should be a kid role model. This was like a man. He human. You know, we all make mistakes. We all do things in life that, you know, some not proud of. You know, everybody is who they are. Like, and Charles Barkley always used to say it, and I'd be like, why he constantly keeps saying he don't want to be a role model, and you know, like he in front of all these kids, because I understand now. Like he ain't want these kids to be following his path just because he was the best player ever. Like, don't get that concept in your head that you can do the same thing that I'm doing. You know, because it can't happen. You know, everybody can't be like Mike, bro. And that's just true, right?
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like the perception of like how people look at athletes now, and they look at different celebrities now, and they desire them to take these different stances and stuff like that. Do you feel like it was the same level of that back in the day? Like you got your barbershop talk and stuff like that, but like the people in the community, like like man, like I wish such and such did this or whatever. But do you think there was as much pressure then as it is with a lot of celebrities now, just because like there's so much level of scrutiny for like people to represent
I feel
certain
like
things?
I feel like it's the same level. The only thing that I feel like that's different is the internet.
Yeah.
Because it's out there a little bit more. Like I feel like Mike was under a whole lot of pressure. Like, I mean, it's parts where, you know, like he couldn't get the cameras out of his face.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, so it was basically the same thing. So imagine if it was internet. You see all the pressure that LeBron getting, Mike would have probably been getting the same thing.
Yeah.
The media would have got to Michael a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He went mute.
It's interesting.
How long did he go mute that one time?
They said for like some months during that season.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine he only went for like a couple months. He probably would have went like a year or so. Like you gotta like think about stuff like that. Like, I mean, they in your every move. Like, and at that time, like, okay, like Mike was like, okay, LeBron good, right? LeBron good, but you got Kevin Durant, he good. Steph Curry good. Kyrie good. You got a whole lot of players that's like LeBron the man, but like they right behind him because he at that age. So let's think about Jordan. Ain't nobody really behind Jordan. You can't even say ain't nobody really matching up to him.
Like, yeah, and the difference with like with Mike too, which I always found interesting about like his aura and stuff, is like once Mike was on top,
it was no breaking them down.
It was no breaking. Like I like the thing with Bron, and I'm not saying this to necessarily take away his greatness. I'm just saying it for the sake of like the comparison of like how we view an athlete, right? So we view Mike like the greatest athlete in sports, like because when he got on top, people broke through on Bron, like Dirk broke through and like shedded a soft like label.
Watch me put my head down.
And got a championship on LeBron. Right?
That's crazy.
On the squad though.
Yeah, no, I ain't taking away nothing for the Mavericks. They had a great run. Like they beat some teams in that run, but they wasn't supposed to win.
No, they wasn't supposed to beat LeBron.
They wasn't supposed to win. But you got like Steph Steph breakthrough on Bron. KD breakthrough on Bron. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with Mike, it's like once he got on top, like you can't even look at that Magic year because it's like it's a one-off. He only played like a couple games. Like he only played like 15 games when they lost to the Magic. Yeah. Nobody like broke through on Mike. Like niggas like they demons was never conquered trying to beat Mike. Like,
hey, because you think about it, right? Like you say, he came that 15 games and then they beat us in the playoffs. And then what we do the next season? We beat the brakes off everybody.
And it ain't like they won the championship after they beat Mike. You get what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody break through off Mike.
No,
Clyde had to wait for him to retire.
Darren.
And then go to a whole other
we
team.
went 72-10 the next year.
That's what I'm trying to say. So it's interesting. Like LeBron not only got to deal with like social media, but like it's also like we're never going to, like, for most of us, like obviously a lot of people think he's the greatest of all time, but it's like the general, like the real general public is never going to view him as dominant as he probably actually is, because in reality, like he just his run was not as dominant as Mike's. Nobody he had like KD got the opportunity to like claim the best player in the world. Like nobody got the opportunity to claim the best player in the world when Mike was the best player in the world. Like nobody else got that chance to claim.
Let me say this though. Maybe the first 7, 8, 9 years of LeBron's career, he wasn't the best player in the NBA though.
I agree.
Kobe was the best player.
I agree. I feel like a player like in basketball, like, if people go disagree with this, but I feel like in basketball, you never the best player, and like you never truly the best player until you win your first ring. Like I just feel like, because I know everything's situational, it's all team situational. Like people could look at like when Mike, before Mike won, and be like, well, he was the best player there. It's like,
he was though.
Yeah. But it's like, to me, I don't feel like Brian took that mantle until he got over the top. Because you got to think about the way he lost in 2011. It's just like, how can you just sit here and really look at him and feel like he's the best player in the game when Kobe's still around, like, and kicking, and like it's great. Like, and then showed us on this big stage, on the biggest stage, that he can get this done. And LeBron on a stacked team that's probably better than the past two teams. Well, I ain't gonna say it was better than the Lakers teams that won the last two championships, because outside of the big three, they had a couple pieces on that first team, but it was a lot of throwaway niggas, bro. It was they had Big Z, they had Mike Bibby.
The 2010 championship team or 09 one?
Yeah, do you think the 2011 team was better than the 09 and 2010 teams?
No,
I don't think they was.
Why?
The 2011,
My
the first.
computer's gonna die, y'all.
Okay. But y'all don't think that the 2011 team was better than the other teams, right?
Oh.
So to his credit, he didn't have the best teams. Like you can't take that 07 team where he got swept. You can't look at, that's a one-off. So you can't even.
What's the name now?
Yeah, with Boobie Gibson and you can't count that. So that's like his magic.
No, I was playing.
They ain't have Mo Williams yet.
They had Mo Williams. What you mean, Mo Buckets?
They ain't have Mo Williams yet.
They had Mo. What they did?
Snow, bro.
Okay.
Eric Snow made it to the final with Allison too.
Wait. So they didn't have Mo Williams when they made it to the finals against the Spurs?
No, bro. The niggas had Danielle Marshall.
Who they had is?
Drew Gooden.
Had that flame too, boy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Danielle Marshall, Drew Gooden, Boobie Gibson, Big Z.
Drew Gooden. Hey, but that shows you how good LeBron was, though.
And that's my point. It's like
Drew Gooden used to be decent, though.
I see why people try to be like he was the best player, but then people got to remember too, Kobe played in a tougher conference.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So it's like, but my point is, but let's go back to the original point. Like, I agree with you. I don't think he was the best player until he won his first ring. Like, I feel like it's such a team sport, but like it's a level of like how you elevate your teammates. Like, you see how the superstars affect teams. Like, well, superstar can affect the team in a way that's like it could get you the next couple wins. So I ain't feel like he was the best player in the league until 2012. Now people would say, well, Mike, they feel like he was the best player in the league like in '88. Damn near.
No, 87. What you thought?
Yeah, so it's just
maybe his rookie year he probably was the best player they were talking about.
Yeah, so I don't think that GOAT talk is a conversation.
I mean, Bernard King thought he was just putting up buckets like that, so Him and Most Malone dug it down backboards.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was just like the COVID-19 and like how we don't, like, our leagues are obviously like at a standstill. When do y'all think we gonna see some sports again?
June.
Nah, we gonna see something this month.
Y'all think it's gonna be something this month?
Nah. USC already got fights lined up. I mean, we gonna see the UFC.
Bro, like
besides fight, they still been wrestling and fighting and stuff. They still been fighting.
We gonna see some. We gonna see some golf. We ain't gonna see no football or basketball no time soon.
We probably are gonna see some golf.
Yeah,
football gonna start on time, I think. And
okay, out of the four major, this is what I ask y'all. Out of the four major sports, what do y'all think we're gonna see first?
Baseball.
We're gonna see baseball in June.
Yeah.
So do y'all think the NBA season is a wrap? Did they just gonna say no?
It's a wrap. The baseball a wrap.
I think it's done though.
Unfortunately, because the Lakers is gonna win, but
baseball a wrap, hockey a wrap. You might see football in like August.
No, I think baseball gonna start in June.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said baseball in June, but I'm talking about football maybe in August. No basketball, no hockey.
No basketball, no hockey.
Dang, that's too long without basketball.
It is. We might not see basketball until the fall, until like December.
Hey, nigga, I'm gonna die of alcohol poisoning if I did, bro.
Wait, man, I'm gonna have to get you some more Jameson, bro.
I was die a slow death, bro. When I said that they was canceling the season, bro, I was like, when Florida Evans lost James,
boy,
that was me, bro.
Hey, me and Angie was sitting in the room, bro. We were sitting, we like, they canceled basketball season. He couldn't believe it, bro. We was about to go crazy. I'm like, she like, boy, this when she was telling me, she was like, it's real. Like, we was just sitting there like, this Corona stuff for real, bro.
Yeah, that's what made it real for everybody, man. When we seen that they was gonna cancel it, like the multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar corporation like the NBA, that's what everybody really was like, oh yeah, this is a real thing. That's
bro,
what's
listen, bro.
So honestly, you might need to thank Rudy Gobert because he set the awareness for us. And I ain't like how they was treating Rudy Gobert like he was patient zero.
Man, nah, he treated himself like that though, bro. With that goofy stuff he did, bro.
Yeah, it didn't help. It didn't help. But I'm just like, man, like y'all gotta stop acting like he, like he just was the first nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the first.
But look how it got us out here now, though, bro. We all out here. We ain't shaved. Like I had to cut everything off, bro. I got my old lady over here giving me lines. Come on, man. It's crazy out here.
Y'all got a strong bond, bro. It look good too.
Man,
y'all got a strong bond. Y'all got a strong bond for it to even get there. Cause listen, brother. You said what?
Bro, are you not gonna give it a try, bro?
Nah, bro. I love her too much, bro.
Hey, bro, you ain't been to Teddy's?
Hell no, bro. Darren been over there, bro. He been going to Teddy, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I seen Teddy. It was Teddy's birthday yesterday. He came back with his mask on and shit. We had a beer and he was downstairs with it because my mom like, nobody coming to this house. So, yeah,
hey, I understand her, bro. She shouldn't let nobody in there. It's over with.
Yeah, man. By the time all this come back, man, I'm gonna be like Moses. But, it's a sacrifice I'm gonna have to take, man.
Bro, you gotta have a pro like me, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm reaching uncharted territory, man. But I I appreciate y'all, man. This is a great episode. Said we really appreciate you coming on.
Man, I appreciate y'all boys having me.
We're gonna have to continue to have you on, man. I think you provide a great balance for us. We got some good laughs, and it's actually just therapeutic. I don't know the last like real sports conversation that I had at length like this since all this shit did happen. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my dad are talking. You know what I'm saying? But like it's just been a long time since you really chopped it up. So
I had to
very
bring my Stephen A. Smith aspect to the whole thing, man.
Yeah. Shit, gotta tie this over. My shit gonna be back here like Stephen.
Steven.
Hey man, but love y'all. Y'all be smooth. I'm gonna talk to both of y'all, man. Y'all enjoy the night, man. And to everybody listening, thank you for listening to Your Sports Addiction podcast. It's been a long time, but we're glad to be back with y'all. I want y'all to be looking for as everybody say when outside open back up. I want y'all to be looking for, said with his S. promo ventures. Be looking. It's gonna be a lot of dope stuff coming. We got the softball league that's coming this summer. Hopefully, man, we get some August games cracking at least, man. Something.
Man, that's the hope, bro.
Yeah, so be looking out for that, man. And we got a lot of dope collaborations that's gonna be coming. But yeah, man, it's YSA. Peace and love.